and welcome everybody. I'm your host, Sending Unit. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Mac Tools Universal Double-Ended Trim Hook Tool, part number L68250. I've had this trim tool for going on about, I want to say a year, 6 months, maybe a year and 8 months. Kind of get lost in the time on that, but I've had it for at least a year and a half, I can assure you that. And this is literally my number one trim tool. I grab it before anything else when it comes to doing any kind of interior work whatsoever. On this end, you got a little, dullish sharpened hook. And on this end, you got kind of a flat prying tool. Either or, you can use it this way or you can use it that way. As you can see, over the time that I've had it, it's definitely taken quite a beating and has shaved down this and actually kind of sharpened this a tad bit up. But you got that in, and you got kind of like a little rocker, almost like a heel bar, to where you can roll it against certain items. The tool itself comes in at roughly, let's see here, give or take 7 1/4 or so. But I mean, I know the measurement isn't the greatest, especially with a Harbor Freight measuring stick, but we're kind of splitting hairs on that. But regardless, comes in about that much. I'm pretty sure this is the only color this tool comes in, so if you're looking for something different, boys, sorry. Orange is what you're gonna get. There's this little hole that's in the hook end on this side, and I couldn't tell you what that's for. Maybe for manufacturing process. I even asked my Mac dealer, what's that little guy for? Like, and they just couldn't tell me. Also to mention as well, it's tapered right here as well, so you can also use it kind of like this to kind of pop your interior pieces like so. But why it is my number one and the one I always grab every time is just the amount of things I can do with just this single tool. Whenever I have to go off to the junkyard, or anytime I have to do any kind of road service calls to go work on trucks. I work in a heavy duty diesel shop. I still work on gas, smaller vehicles as well, but my number one is semi trucks, to give you guys kind of a background if you don't watch the channel. But yeah, this is the one I usually go on road service calls with in my bag, because it's better than carrying 17 different little trim tools, versus I can just carry this one. And if I think I'm going to be getting into something where this can't perform, maybe I'll bring a little metal prying tool as well. But this sucker is stout. I mean, granted, I'm getting a little bit of bend on this side where it kind of weakens down a little bit, but let's swap sides here. And yeah, I mean, it's got give, but I don't necessarily think it's going to snap. And granted, you can see where it's been shaved down over time, getting into areas, guys, if you ever tried to pop open a M2 Freightliner door panel, this thing is your buddy. Like, it is awesome for getting into those little suckers. If you know, those things definitely suck to try to get off. But regardless, this is my go-to when it comes to, throwing it into the bag and not having a whole lot of room to bring a lot with me. This is my guy, just because it is so universal into what it can be used for. It's almost like I'm not going to say multi-tool, but the variations of work that you can do with just this single tool versus so many tools and sitting in your tray, this guy has got you covered. And that's one thing I absolutely love about this tool. Speaking back to the durability of the tool, other than the strength in the plastic itself, I've had this thing covered in several different forms of greases. I've cleaned it off with brake clean. I've had diesel spilled on it. Haven't actually got this thing in gasoline yet, so that is to be determined if this thing can hold up against petrol. But at the end of the day, I mean, I like cleaning my tools. When I do clean my tools, I'm kind of a slob about that, but when I do clean my tools, I usually use brake clean, and I'm not afraid to just chooch it right over the top of it and then wipe it down with a rag. But yeah, it's held up fine. It hasn't started to deteriorate or discolor due to using brake clean against it. Granted, I don't get this thing that messy all the time. I don't have to clean it all the time, so I've only done it a handful of times, but still, I mean, the fit and finish for plastic has held up absolutely fine, and it has not deteriorated or came apart. And honestly, for what I've put this tool through, for the, I believe it's $15 right now on Mac's website, don't quote me, reading was never my strong suit, but for like the 15 bucks I paid for this thing when I got it, Holy crap, this thing has paid for itself time and time again, and I could not recommend this little trim tool, you know, any higher than I am right now. I mean, this sucker just goes, and she is so freaking reliable. Granted, you might have the same tool, or you might have a buddy that had the same tool that, I don't know, snapped it the second day he had it. I don't know, was it operator error or was it the tool? I'm not going to be the judge. I'm not standing there, but in my professional experience, using this sucker in a heavy diesel shop environment, using it, you know, every few days, anytime I had to work on interior parts, she's held up. She's been rocking and rolling, and I don't expect it to break anytime soon whatsoever. In closing, if I had to give this tool a 1 out of 10, 1 being the worst tool in the world, absolutely garbage, throw it away, and 10 out of 10 being God's gift to the earth when it comes to tools, I have to give this thing a 10. It has been absolutely freaking amazing. If you guys have a Mac dealer, when the truck shows up, don't walk, run. Be safe, but get on the truck and check this thing out. It may not be for you. You may not like it, but in my experience, in almost 2 years of ownership of this thing, I've loved it. This thing has been my favorite little interior tool. I couldn't recommend this thing enough. 10 out of 10. Just knocked it out of the park. Mac, I don't know if this is a rebrand, so I should preference this a little bit when I say this, but Mac, you guys knocked it out of the flippin' park with this tool. I absolutely love this little trim tool, and I could not recommend it enough. So yeah, if you got a Mac dealer, hop on the truck, check it out. If you want to take the risk on it, I promise you, you won't regret spending the $15 on this little sucker, because this thing is awesome. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this tool. Do you own one? Have you broke one? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think there's a better one out there? I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think. I'd be really interested to see your comments on that and get your guys' opinion. Please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. I do other tool review videos on this channel, as well as I also do other automotive repair videos. And anytime I could be turning a wrench and be able to have a camera behind me to record it and take you guys along for the ride, I like to do that as well. So yeah, please consider checking those out. Please consider subscribing. It really helps me out in the long run. So yeah, I've been your host, Sending Unit. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. You all have a good one.